Sports fans, I've hooked up with DraftKings to offer a special deal. Play their fantasy draft tonight and it's free with your first deposit of only $3. A huge prize pool, tons of people win, so what are you waiting for? Head over and check it out. I'm in. Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to BBallBreakdown. Some really incredible playing happening in this playoffs. I really got to tell you, some of the best games I've seen in a long time, and the Wizards and Hawks were no exception. Even though the score might have been a little bit low, I saw a lot of really good execution and teams playing terrific defense. So I want to point out some things I saw on the defensive end about Paul Pierce, which begs the question, does all of his clutchiness at the end make up for the defensive issues he's got? And the idea being that perhaps they wouldn't need all that clutch play if he could play a little bit better defensively. So let me show you what I broke down there and then how the game ended up playing out in an incredible finish. The Hawks started out strong by generating good shots out of their offense. Notice how Teague's probing doesn't stop Millsap from flare screening for Horford, and the Hawks flowing right into an inside ball screen. The rotation was perfect by the Wizards, but here is evidence that Paul Pierce is just not fast enough to close out the shooters anymore. Since he is a bit slower these days, he certainly can't afford to fall asleep for even a second on his younger, more agile man. In transition, it's unfortunate he had to pick up Teague, but these things will happen against a team that pushes the pace. That said, when Teague and Horford break into an inside ball screen with Gortat hedging, it makes no sense why he'd jump out of position like this, not get back in the play, and allow the 15-footer. The Wizards had newfound success late in the season with Pierce playing the power forward spot, but the Hawks do small ball better than anybody, and Millsap abuses him down low. The Hawks again isolate Millsap in the post on Pierce, who simply cannot maintain proper position on the much stronger Millsap. At this point, Pierce should know he's got a target on his back, yet he's standing straight up, hands on his hips, and for reasons unknown, tries to go on the high side of a cross screen. For reasons quite obvious, this is a bad idea. Let's jump to the fourth quarter, where the Wizards used an 11-1 run to take control of the game. Muscala plays great defense on Nene on the left block, and Jeff Teague takes a swipe, but watch how he just drifts to the weak side all by himself. When Schroeder doubles, it forces Kyle Korver to rotate, and they could have used Teague's hustle to get back in this play. The Wizards run pistol, which is a pass to the wing, cutter goes high side, then the big sets an inside screen. I really like how Beal uses it, then crosses back to a second ball screen. Gorgeous hop off the dribble gets an explosive and a quick release from 14. This is sort of like pinch post out of the triangle, and it's an awesome fake pitch to Beal as Nene gets a step, then hits a crazy tough spin move lefty jump hook with nice touch. I call this the train, as Wall gets a double ball screen, then the train turns to set a double stagger for Porter. All this action gets Nene great position down low. I love the pass and cut in one motion, and Porter is rewarded with free throws. Down by 8, the Hawks flip their switch with a 16-2 run. A simple pick and roll with Pierce guarding Millsap went from nice containment to silly gamble very quickly, allowing Millsap a free drive to the rim and free throws. Again, with Pierce playing power forward, he ends up having to guard Horford in this pick and roll. While it's no fault of his own, it's simply a complete mismatch, and Horford began his reign of terror on the Wizards. Up till this point, Kyle Korver was 0 for 4 in the game, all from behind the three-point line. He did have 5 steals and 5 rebounds, however, and you can imagine the relief when Porter fell asleep for just a second, got caught behind the Carroll block/screen, but this is a 28-footer and the net barely moves. Wall pulls up for the dreaded 18-footer, and the Hawks run a phalanx for Schroeder, but Wall is terrific in his contain. However, he allows middle penetration, a big no-no, and Gortat naturally rotates, but it becomes a help one pass away, and watch Horford hit this without dipping the ball on the catch. Impressive. Pierce badly misses the contested corner 3, Porter for some reason doesn't save it back to him, and this allows the Hawks to push the ball. Fantastic work by the Wizards to get back on defense, but Gortat gives a half a step too much room to Horford, who connects on a dreaded 18-footer of his own. Horford then comes up with a huge block. Turns out it's the old pro trick of holding the shooter down with your left hand as you innocently put your right hand up to block it. This leaves John Wall on the ground as the Hawks race up the court looking for openings. Another example of perfect transition defense, Gortat picks his man up, and Pierce is a fraction late recognizing who he needed to pick up, and Schroeder sticks it in his eye. Clinging to a 3-point lead, the Hawks keep Schroeder in there, since he was controlling the tempo so well. Wall forces him away from the screen, expecting Pierce to contain. Well, he's just not physically able to do more than this, and the young and springy Schroeder drops a floater on his head. Up till this point, Pierce was getting killed on defense and was 1 for 7 from the field. But time and again, we've seen the truth come out, and after a simple pin down screen, he pops to the 3-point line. Beal's curl sucks the defense in, gorgeous find, and Pierce splashes the clutch 3. Down 2, another great offensive play call by Randy Whitman and execution by the players. Gortat sets a down screen for Pierce, who is on his way to screen the ball. That first screen serves to get Millsap out of position on the ball screen, which Pierce promptly slips to flare to the wing. Gortat's ball screen enables penetration and kick. Pierce attacks the closeout, finds the open man in Wall, who probably should have shot this, and in the mad scramble to recover, Millsap was probably the guy who should have covered for Horford on his help. Great pass by Wall, and a gorgeous lefty hook finish by Gortat. Having not turned the ball over all night, it was a bit of a shock that Pierce didn't kick out to the corner right in front of him, and that Korver was able to poke the ball away and ignite a picture-perfect 2-on-1 that got me out of my chair. With a 2-point lead, it seems totally ironic to me that the Wizards would steal a page from the Spurs playbook, essentially the same as the Hawks playbook, and run the hammer play, where Wall penetrates towards the baseline while Gortat sets the hammer screen as a flare on the weak side for Pierce to get in the corner. It's a great pass, great look, and Pierce reminds us all why he was brought to Washington. However, there is plenty of time to run a play to get Schroeder attacking from out top. When Wall makes a beautiful block, watch how Horford comes from out of nowhere to snatch the ball from Nene's hands. He travels, but who's counting, and put the ball back in the hoop for the game winner. Incredible play, something I've never seen before, and the Hawks, up 3-2, are now flying high.